What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today we got the trailer as well as the full roadmap for Season 5 of Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2, and with this we've got a good handful of multiplayer maps, a bunch of weapons, some new game modes, a brief announcement on the reveal event for Modern Warfare 3, and a bunch of operators as well. So without further ado, let's hop right into this, just focusing on the multiplayer side of things. Let's talk about the maps we're going to be seeing. It turns out with the launch of Season 5, which is next week, August 2nd, we're going to be getting 2 6v6 multiplayer maps and 2 gunfight maps. And one of those 6v6 multiplayer maps is Strike, which you guys may recognize from COD 4. They also remastered this from the original Modern Warfare 2, and of course it was in Modern Warfare Remastered. And with this, based on the little clips from the trailer, it looks like they are maintaining a 1-to-1 layout with the original Strike, although I did notice they added a lot more color to this version, which I actually quite like. And overall, when we consider the fact that at this stage we are very unlikely to ever see any original Modern Warfare 2 maps remastered for this Modern Warfare 2, all of those are rumored to be coming for Modern Warfare 3. With that in mind, I actually think Strike was a solid choice for a map to remaster just because we haven't really had it remastered in a very long time. I'm glad they're not bringing like Crash back, for instance, just because they keep remastering that one over and over again. Whereas Strike, I think, is going to feel familiar but fresh at the same time. But with the newer style of spawn system that they're using, I'm curious to see how the map ends up playing and if it even plays anything like what we're used to. In either case, that's the remaster map that's coming. We also have a brand new map called Punta Mar, and with this one, it's set in Las Almas. They just say a South American beach, but this appears to be Rio. And as some of you guys may have noticed if you've seen the trailer, it looks like there's at least a small section of this that's inspired by Favela from Modern Warfare 2. Now, in saying that, this is clearly not a full-on remaster of Favela. I think this is just similar to what we saw with Palaio's Lighthouse, where there's a familiar element there, which is that main building in the middle there. That's heavily based on the house from Estate in Modern Warfare 2. In this case, this middle building right here, this is clearly inspired by Favela. But again, the layout is clearly not one-to-one. This is a new original map. But then when it comes to the gunfight maps, again, both of these are coming with the launch of Season 5 next week. We have Lounge, which is this area right here. And then we have Canal, which is taking part in a section of Vondel. And it's worth noting it's also set at night. When it comes to these ones, there's not a ton to say. They're gunfight maps, they're tiny, there's not that much interesting to point out with them. But then we have another 6v6 map that's going to be coming in the mid-season update for Season 5, and this one is called DRC Zone 1. And with this, apparently it has something to do with Building 21, which I've heard of, but I don't play Warzone or DMZ at all, so I don't really know anything about it. But based on the description, they say the map is located around the visitor center in the shadow of Building 21. And they describe it as a small-sized map that's focused on fast-paced combat. And with that, those are all of the maps we're going to be seeing for the multiplayer side of things throughout Season 5. It's quite interesting to note that there are no battle maps at all stated here, which I believe this is the first season without getting a new battle map, which personally I'm fine with. I'm just happy to see we're getting at least 3 6v6 maps this season. Next, let's talk a little bit about game modes. The first one is a brand new mode called Havoc, and with this, the gist of it is it's like a team deathmatch, but for every 12 kills that a team reaches, a different modifier will be applied to the entire match, so it does apply for both teams equally. And they left an example of 5 potential modifiers out of the 14 that will be available in this. First one is Ammo Feeder, where it auto-reloads a weapon when you kill an enemy player. So that's just like one of the perks we saw back in World War II. I can't remember what that one was called. We have Boots Off the Ground, which applies moon gravity to players. However, that will only affect our jump height. It won't affect thrown equipment or ballistics. We have Flame Shot, where it becomes flame-tipped crossbow bolts and Molotovs only, and everybody's loadout will immediately change to that. We have Hero Landing, where if you land from a big drop, it will cause a frag grenade-like explosion around you. So this is kind of like that Merc ability from Infinite Warfare for those that have played that. I actually really enjoyed that. And then finally, for the examples they provided, we have Perspective Shift, which will shift everyone into a third-person camera view. So it just seems like a sort of crazy, chaotic mode where you never know what's going to happen. It is also worth noting within this mode, you don't have loadouts, you don't have perk packages or field upgrades or kill streaks, nothing like that. You just get your weapon, and then these modifiers apply on top of that. Then for the second mode, we have Big Capture the Flag, which is just capture the flag on battle maps. And then we're getting some gunfight variants as well throughout Season 5. We're going to have Gunfight Custom at launch, which allows you to take your own weapons into gunfight. Then we're going to have Gunfight Snipers in mid-season, and it seems like you're able to build your own sniper loadouts, but it has to be sniper rifles. And then finally, in season, they mentioned we'll have Armored Gunfight, where it's standard gunfight, but armor is enabled, and you start off with 150 HP of armor and 100 health, but there's no replacement plates or health regeneration in this mode. But then finally, something that's not quite gunfight, but it takes place on the Gunfight Maps, we have Face-Off returning mid-season, and this is going to be 4v4 Face-Off, which I think a lot of people are going to be quite happy to see. Now, let's skip ahead to the COD 2023 reveal event. They still haven't officially come out and said Modern Warfare 3. However, they've all but confirmed that it's Modern Warfare 3 at this point, and the logo has leaked. It is Modern Warfare 3. This reveal event is going to take place in-game in Warzone, and it appears it's going to be taking place in the observatory area of Warzone. And they don't mention exactly when this is going to take place. The roadmap just says it's going to be in season, and I'm really hoping this happens sooner rather than later because I'm actually leaving on my honeymoon mid-August, so I'm hoping I'll be able to take part in this, but I may not be able to. In either case, let's now move on to the new weapons that we're getting with this season. At launch, within the free tiers of the Battle Pass, we're going to be getting the FR Avancer, which looks really similar to the FFAR that we've seen in previous Call of Duty games. It's based heavily on the FAMAS. It looks like this is going to be a full auto gun. A lot of people were wondering whether or not this would be a burst or full auto. It will be full auto with a high fire rate. And then on top of that, we're going to be getting the Karak 300, which is based on the WA2000. This one was leaked quite some time ago. And I'm quite surprised to see they're using the wood furniture on this. I thought it would look a lot more like the modern version of the MWIII, but nope, it is a wood version of this. And this one is going to be a semi-auto sniper rifle. So like I said, those are the two that are coming at launch within the Battle Pass. However, we've actually got 3 more coming in season. The first one is the M13C, which is an assault rifle, and it's basically just the 300 black counterpart to the M13B. So again, just like with the 50GS, instead of just introducing a new ammo type and an attachment for an existing gun, they're bringing this in as an entirely new gun. Then we're going to be getting a new handgun, which they've showed a blacked out version of this in the roadmap, but it's clearly the Staccato 2011, which we have found a model of in the campaign. I've already talked about this earlier this week. And then finally, we have a new SMG coming, and that appears to be an MP5 SD. So again, something that could have just been an attachment, it looks like they turned into an all-new weapon. This one will have an integrated suppressor in it, and that makes me wonder if they're going to bother fixing integrated suppressors so it actually works as a suppressor, or if you're just going to be better off using the existing MP5 with a suppressor muzzle that actually works and does its job. So there we go, that's 5 weapons that are going to be coming, and that's a good variety of weapons. I'm glad to see that, even though for a couple of them, it looks like they could have just been an attachment for an existing gun. Now let's briefly touch on operators. I don't typically care about operators all that much, but in the Battle Pass, there's actually going to be 4 new operators available. We have Oz, Graves, Mila, and Velikan. Then in season, they mentioned Mace is going to be coming, as well as 21 Savage. Additionally, Snoop Dogg's coming back. It seems like he's just in most of the modern CODs these days, so we're going to have a Snoop Dogg operator and a Nicki Minaj operator coming. And with that, that's finally going to wrap it up for today's video on a full breakdown of all of the elements we can expect that impact multiplayer for Modern Warfare 2. Overall, I'd say this is looking like a pretty standard season. Content-wise, I'm not really particularly disappointed in anything I'm seeing here. Then again, it also doesn't really blow me away or anything. Looks like a solid season. Content-wise, no complaints here. Of course, just like with every one of these announcements where we get the roadmap, it doesn't talk about any of the gameplay changes yet. We will have to wait for patch notes coming closer to the update. And to me, that's even more important than all of this content. I really want to see if they get that UAV bug taken care of, and any other gameplay adjustments that they may make for this Season 5 update. Now, of course, all of these were just my thoughts, and I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking about Season 5 now that we have the roadmap in those comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.